Hey guys, we're going to have a look at a question from 21A here. Question 3. It asks us to do the same thing over and over again. Find the area under the graph y equals x squared, or between the graph y equals x squared and the x-axis, between the x values of 1 and 2, using 10 strips, 25, 50, 100, 500. You wouldn't get this in an exam because obviously we don't want you to do that many calculations, but let's have a look how we could do it with Excel and how you might do it if you needed to do it in, say, an assignment, which may or may not be coming up. You never know. Give your answers to 4 decimal places. I'll try and remember that, but you know what I'm like with those sort of details. Not my specialty. So what is it that we're looking at though? Here I've got a little picture in Desmos to remind us. There's the graph of y equals x squared. We're only interested between 1 and 2, and I've just used the greater than and less than to show the actual area that we're looking for. Whether that's a greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or less than doesn't really matter because a line has no width. So that's the area we're looking at. This is already, you can see, broken up into 10 strips. You can just probably see the faint little outlines there. Maybe if I went to settings and said projector mode, no, you couldn't see them as well because it gets rid of some of them. So let's just leave it like that. Upper rectangles, remember, would start by using 1.1. If we've got 10 strips there from 1 to 2, each one would be 0.1 wide. So it'd start at 1.1. What's the height at 1.1? Well, you know, 1.1 squared is 1.21. And if I've got semi-decent mouse skills, you would have seen it flash by there. Yeah, I don't have semi-decent mouse skills. That's obviously a given. That's really bad. Come on, well now see I really want to do it. There we go. 1.1, so you can see it's 1.21. So that would be a rectangle at that height. I'll go across and down from there, and you can continue on. Let's have a look. Let's put that into our notes so we can actually see that. Save you having to copy it out or pause the video and write it. So go across here in a Desmos, into OneNote, and we can see it there. That's what it is. So the upper rectangles, I'm going to use the right-hand point. So the first height I will be using is actually for 1.1, and that will give me a rectangle. Now, you're going to be the guinea pigs and see me with my new tablet here. It doesn't have the screen display. It's just one of those tablets where you can move around, but you can't actually see it. So I have to watch the screen while I'm doing it. So you can see that's where the first rectangle will be. It'll go all the way down. Do you want to see my poor penmanship? Let's have a go. How am I? Could be worse. You've been putting up with me writing on the whiteboard for a while sometimes, so can't be much better than that. The next upper rectangle would of course be there using 1.2, which of course when we square it would be 1.44 high. You get the idea, all the way up to the final one, which when I square 2 would give me 4. Don't know why it scrolled there. Let's just try that again. Probably because I was slow. And there's no way I'm going to be able to draw this one properly, but let's just get the pain over and done with. You can see why I don't do art. You get the idea though. Just gone out of your view there. Let's see if I can get it back. There it is. Here you can just see. So you get the idea. We get all those 10 strips together and we've got something happening there that's pretty good. How do I use Excel to do this? So we're over in Excel. How am I going to do it? So you see here, I've got my point 1. That's my starting point. I want to increase by 0.1. The total width along the x-axis was 1, from 1 to 2. 10 strips, 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. So this is just going to be equal to the point above plus 0.1. That'll give me the next x coordinate that I would use, which in this case would be 1.1. If I continue using that idea, I should end up getting to 2. Very good. What's the y coordinate? Well, the equation's y equals x squared. So all I do is I take, for each one, I take the cell next to it. So in cell B2, I've got cell A2, and I square it. If I copy that rule down, it'll take the one next to it and square it. And you can see there, 1.1 squared is 1.21, 2 squared is 4. All those match up. That's beautiful. The area. What's the area? The width of each strip is 0.1, so it's just 0.1 multiplied by the height. Now the only catch here is I don't like having upper and lower. I should do that. Well, I mean, upper makes more sense because it's upper, it's above. So what are these formulae? How did I get the upper sum and the lower sum? Because I've already got them calculated there. Let's go ahead and have a look at what the rule was. The upper sum was finding the sum of all the areas from cell C3, not to 502, that's for later on, when I just did a little test of it, up to C12. Not CC12, Chewy. C12, which is the last one. So the upper one uses, you can see how it's using all of them except the very first point. That makes sense, doesn't it? Because it's using the right-hand values. that gives me the sum of 2.485. The lower one, I'm taking the sum from C2, not to 501. This one would be from C2 up to C11. I'm taking the left-hand one, so I'm leaving out that very end point. I'm using the starting point this time. So this should end up with a slightly lower answer. How much lower? Well, the difference between the one I'm including and the one I'm excluding is 0.3, so I'm going to reckon it's about 2.185. Genius, isn't it? Not really. It's very easy to see that. So we know the value for the area is between 2.185 and 2.485. But what is it? Let's increase the number of strips and see how we go. What do they tell us to do next? They tell me to go from 10 to 25. Well, before I delete all of that and lose it, let's copy that in so we can see what the area is when I'm using. I'll get my head out of the way there. I don't know if you can see it, but on my computer screen it was in the way of where I wanted to scroll. That's better. We've got our answer there. Now we're going to increase the strips and try again. So here we go. We'll go back. I'm going 25 strips in one space. You can do 1 divided by 25, 0.04. So now I've got to add on 0.04. If you don't feel like adding, what would I do? Or don't feel like calculating that 0.04? It's just plus the whole width divided by 25. That'd cover it as well, wouldn't it? See how the ones next to it automatically calculated and these ones have adjusted. We're going to actually need to adjust those again, so they won't be accurate yet. But what we first want to do, make sure I just select them, don't copy that formula across. I want to get these formulae working, but now I've got to have 25 strips. I've got to go a little bit further down here. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. Control Z. Not Control Z and then some other weird combination. What did I do? This one up by 1/25th. The next one should be the same rule. Why didn't it follow the same rule? That's better. Now it's going up by 0.04 each time. Maybe I'll just, that's copying and that's why. No, I don't want to do it. Cancel that. I want to just, that's the bit I want to grab. Obviously just getting too excited. There we go. We got all the way down to 2. Now when I go back to these other columns, if I just double click, it'll drag them down to the same thing, calculating as it goes. So we've got all those values. You can see here our final row is 27th. So when I'm doing the upper rectangles, remember I exclude the first one and then use all the other right-hand side points. So it's going to be from C3 all the way to C27. Pretty cool, hey? The left-hand points, the lower sum, it's going to be from C2. So I'm including the first one, but I'm stopping before that last one. I'm going to 26. Why are these values so much different? Remember, what haven't we done yet? Let's have a look. 2.485, 2.185. I said we get more accurate. But Chewy, they've gone wild. What's going on? Well, we didn't change these things yet, have we? This width is no longer 0.1. What's our new width? That's right, 0.04. Remember that 1/25th. So if I do that and multiply them down, now we'll see that the estimates using 25 strips are closer to what we wanted. Let's see if I can get the little tablet working here. This is my new tablet. You guys are the guinea pigs. I told you that already, but I'm still excited by it. 25 strips. Do I get answers that are converging or not? 2.27 to 2.39. That's, yep, we've definitely come in a bit, haven't we? We've gotten a better estimate. More strips would mean what? Better estimate again. Do I really want to do 50 and 100 and 500? No, that's for you to do. I'm going to do 500 just because I want to cut to the chase. Let's get to a better answer. So, what are the things I need to change? Instead of being 1/25th that I'm going up by, I'm going up by 1/500th. I'm going to drag that formula down, and this is going to take a little bit of time. Oh, I scrolled pretty quickly that time without messing it up, hopefully. Nah, of course I messed it up. What did I do wrong? Probably just grabbed the wrong one. 1/500. I need to do that one now, and that should change them all. There we go. Now we've got from 1 to 2 going up by 0.002. 2,000th, yeah, of course, that's 1/500th. That makes sense. The area will calculate for me as well. Oh, sorry, the y coordinate will calculate for me. It'll square all those for me. That should now be all the way down to 500. Didn't work, so let's just get one of those and do it again. Why is it misbehaving? Oh, it's stopping at the end of the line. Well, let's just use the bottom one and double click it then. Now it'll go to the end. Yes, you can see I'm confused. I don't like what it's doing there. Are they increasing? Yes, they are. 1.102, 1.106. Okay, it's all good. Just getting a little bit nervous there. The areas, remember, are not correct yet because what's our new width? Not 0.04, but 0.002 multiplied by the height that we get from the y coordinate. When I do that, this should now, it still hasn't done it. I don't know why. It's because the list has already got a full length. Let's just take the bottom one and say fill down. Now it should have done it. Great, we go all the way down to the 502nd row in our spreadsheet. Beautiful, that's very exciting. But these are still out, aren't they? Because rather than being the sum from C3 to C27, we're going to make that 502. So add up all the right-hand ones up to 502. The lower one includes C2, but only goes up to C501. All the left-hand values. So you can see here, to 4 decimal places, 2.3363, 2.3303. So we've got it nailed down to roughly 2.33. We could get more accurate. How would I do it? More strips. Drag them all down, adjust the values. I think you've got the idea. I hope that helps. Good luck. We'll talk about it in class tomorrow because you probably won't have time to watch a massive 12-minute video between now and then anyway. But we'll see how we go. Cheers, guys.